Okay, we're going to be doing tie rod ends and sway bar linkage on this thing. This is a 2004 Ford Freestar. The wheels off. If you're completely new to the game, then when you do this, it helps to have the tire on the ground, break them loose, and then use something like this to take off the lugs. This is why you replace tie rod ends, and that's the sway bar linkage. I already did the other side, so I know that the tie rod ends are exactly the same length from here to here, so shouldn't need an alignment, but if you do, a big whoop. First thing I like to do is take off that nut. Just loosen it because it's nice to have it in there for when you do this nut. This is a jam nut, and we're gonna just back it off a half a turn, and then right here there's some flats. Screw it out, then take that nut out. Oops. Take that nut out, pop this thing up, and then put the new one on, and then tighten it back down to where it was, and then turn that thing another half turn till it's tight, and it should be in the same spot. Okay, here we go. Just bust this loose, make sure you don't have any issues with that later. Ooh, that's tight, dummy. Fucking dummy. Okay. Watch it, sometimes there's a cotter pin in there. This, not this one. The replacement has it, not this one. Okay, now we're going to take my adjustable wrench and break this jam nut loose, since I don't have the right fucking size. Okay. Alright. Now we're going to turn with our 13 millimeter this tie rod end shaft until it comes out. That's it. And then that will get some space in between it until it comes apart. It's about to pop apart. So here we go. Just so you can see the moment of truth. See, here it goes. Now make sure that you don't fuck up the end of the threads by putting a bunch of tension on it, but there we go. There's your tie rod end. Now, you gotta finish loosening that one up that I just broke loose a little bit ago. Should be a piece of cake. Sometimes you need to put a wrench inside there, but it's in there pretty good, so it shouldn't need it. So let's grab this cocksucker here. You know what, I like the idea of a gear wrench on this one, so I'm going to grab this. 18 mil. Or 3/4. Oh. Okay. Now in hindsight, I would have left the tie rod end connected to the tie rod for loosening up that nut, because when you get to the end of the threads, they get a little fucky, and then you need to put something like this on the rotor to hold it still. If it was still connected to the tie rod ends, you wouldn't need to do that. But I did that on the other side, but didn't even realize that it was important until I came over here and didn't do it that way. So I'm a little more winded than I'd like to be. But here we go. Now this is fucking ready to come off. Give this a swift smack with the BFH. Big fucking hammer. And it'll pop right out. Okay, here we have the replacement tie rod end, which is the same length as the factory one, thankfully. And then there we have the jam nut, which we're not going to use because our other one's on there to measure, make sure we're the right length so our steering isn't fucked up. In there is a grease zerk jiggling around, and here's a cotter pin. Here we go. Pop it in our slot. Now that bushing, or that boot is keeping us from getting that nut on there. So I'm going to push it down like so. Needed both hands for that part. But there we go. It's on there, but it's only on there loose till I get stuff situated. Now we slide this back over here. Grab the tie rod end and the tie rod. Line them up so that that shaft can be turned into the new one. And I'm going to need 2 hands for this, so I'm just going to get it started. You get the idea. Okay, now that we're started on there, I can show you the video. What I'm doing is pressing it in with my knee, since I only got one hand, and turning this towards the rear of the vehicle. Tighten that up in there until it's up against that jam nut, and make sure that you don't touch that jam nut while you're tightening this, or the jam nut will move and your alignment will be fucked up. Oh, there we go. Okay, getting down to it now. As you can see, go up till it's flush, like I had it, or however, make a mental note of how you had it when you took it apart. But I had it till it stopped, and then I tightened it up with this. Now give that a fucking tighten. There we go. Now, as you can see, or maybe you can't, I don't know, there's grease already in there, but never hurts to give her a little bit more. But it's time to put in the grease cert. Okay, end of the tie rod, tighten it up finger tight. See on cross thread when you put the 7mm socket. Let's give her a little bit, and good to go. Now we tighten up this bottom nut and put the cotter pin in. Okay, as you tighten this up, that shaft that goes through there is tapered. So you shouldn't need to grab it with anything. And this one's not designed to grab it with anything, so you just go, and as that taper starts pinching against the walls, the inside of that, it'll hold it still for you. Okay, grease it up through that grease cert, and should be ready for a test drive, see if you need an alignment or not. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and check out my website. I'll post a link at the bottom. Also, we're going to be doing sway bar linkage on here in the next video, and I'll post a link for that as well. Thanks a lot.